having supper with Auntie Marion?
Depends.
On what?
On whether they went to see a matinee this afternoon, in which case they should both be back by now, or whether they'd just gone.
You're a great help.
Oh, don't worry. Just be grateful she's getting back to normal. Couldn't be in better hands, could she?
Well, that's true.
Well, then.
Kevin, I think you were right about Sharon, you know. I was horrible to her. I think I might go round after supper and apologise.
Oh, don't be so daft. She's probably forgotten all about it by now. Leave it.
I can't. If somebody'd snub me like that, I'd never speak to them again.
So? She wants to get funny about it. It's no skin off your nose.
You're forgetting something, aren't you?
What?
Well, if it is serious, this time next year she could be my stepmother-in-law.
That's not funny, Glenn.
I think I'll ring her anyway.
Suit yourself.
Hello?
Sharon?
Speaking.
It's Glenda.
Oh, hello.
Look, about this morning, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to speak to me. I just wondered if you'd be in this evening.
If this is going to be the kind of conversation I keep dodging...
Oh, no, honestly, I just want to apologise. I didn't mean to... Well, if it had been anybody else but Kevin's dad...
I know what you're trying to say, but there's no need.
Look, I want to put things right. I was horrible and I want to say I'm sorry. Can I come round for a chat?
Glenda, I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Please, Sharon, just for 5 minutes. It's not what you're thinking. I don't want to make trouble.
If it means that much to you.
It does. Thanks, Sharon. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
What good do you think that'll do?
Make me feel better for a start.
Oh, tipping before duty, eh?
Report me for pilfering, if you like. I'm past caring.
Oh, come on. I mean, even when you were under personal contract to J. Henry, you were still entitled to your management snifter or two. I mean, no one's going to begrudge it you now.
I am aware of that small mercy, but it fails to elate me.
Hey, what's wrong?
J. Henry got me again.
Oh, David, this man is in a state.
Looks all right to me.
Oh, he's too petrified to show it.
J. Henry, David, signed up Richard Lord to be his personal representative. In other words, for my post.
You wanted out? Why object to Richard Lord moving in?
Under the terms of his contract, he will have access to J. Henry's personal papers. Now, there are certain things among those papers, things that I'm ashamed of having done for J. Henry. He could expose them any time and destroy me.
Yes, but why should he wish to?
Jill.
Oh, look, I know what you all think about Richard Lord, but I don't. I mean, now he's in love, he's changed.
Well, I am not in love and I've not changed. I'm very, very vulnerable.
You're laying it on a bit thick, Paul.
As a loyal member of the managerial staff, let me tell you that it was J. Henry's intention to move in here and get you out on your ear. I failed to achieve that for him. Now Richard Lord is given the same task.
Where's Richard Lord now?
Well, I saw him in the bar.
If he's there, would you ask him to come in, please?
Do you understand? J. Henry has 10% interest in the motel, but he has, for the next 3 months, 100% interest in Richard Lord, the only man who one night turned me into a kitchen hand. Well, I wish you luck. And if after the massacre there's anyone left to stand by you, I trust it's me.
Paul, I know you like your moments of mysticism, but I don't understand why you personally are so frightened of Richard Lord.
I am not frightened of Richard Lord. I'm sick and tired of J. Henry. I thought when I broke with him, he'd say, all right, let bygones be bygones. But not at all. I now know they never can be. Either I get him one day once and for all, or he'll get me. And that will be the first task he'll give Richard Lord. The second will be you.
I was just making myself a cup of coffee. Do you want one?
Yes, please.
Right.
I can't stay very long. I've left Kevin getting the supper.
You needn't have come round at all, you know.
Oh, yes, I wanted to apologise about this morning and...
So you said on the phone. It's all right, Glenda. I understood. After all, he is Kevin's dad.
Frightened me, I suppose. It could actually happen after all the years he's been married.
Frightens me, my love.
Sharon,
Yes.
do you mind me asking? You're actually in love with him?
Oh, yeah.
But he's so much older.
Is he? I hadn't noticed.
Well, Kevin says he's more understanding, but he says he doesn't blame either of you.
Blame doesn't come into it, Glenda. Do you take sugar?
No.
We both of us tried to stop it
Well,
happening.
it is serious, then. I mean, do you think he'll leave Sally?
I want him, not just for the odd hour or so, for good.
Well, she hasn't made me very happy. I suppose it isn't surprising he's thinking of finishing it now he's found you.
Oh, they've been married a long time, Glenda. Love is one thing. There you go. Breaking up a marriage is something else.
But it's awful for you not knowing where you stand. I mean, you can't make any plans. You've got no security. How can you live like that?
All or nothing, eh?
Oh, it'll have to be for me. Sitting here waiting for the phone to ring.
That's nothing new.
Not being very fair on either of you, is he?
Fair. Well, none of us being fair. I want, and I know this sounds dreadfully corny, but I really do want what's best for him. And if that means staying on with his wife and seeing me now and again...
Oh, you couldn't.
Oh, dear, but I could.
Well, Sharon, you'd have no future to look to.
Are you saying I should finish with him like they do in the magazines?
Well, that's up to him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't he straight with Sally, then? Why doesn't he tell her he's serious about you?
He has. Hasn't made any difference. She still won't let go.
She hasn't been much of a wife in the past. Why she's hanging on?
Wives are like that. Me, I'd be screaming the house down.
But you'd let him go.
Yes, I'd let him go, but I'm not Sally Banks, am I?
She'll make his life a misery, just to spite him. I know her.
This morning you cut me dead for breaking up their marriage.
I know. I've had a chance to think since then.
Good.
I've been remembering how she was with me and Kevin. And maybe she's had this coming for a long time.
No excuse for taking her husband, Glenda. I'll tell you something. I'd rather be me than Sally Banks right now.
Well, he's going to keep me waiting as a matter of principle, I suppose.
I don't think he's got any choice. He's with J. Henry now, going through a mountain of documents. And you've got to remember, David, that he's now under personal contract to J. Henry, not to us, not the motel.
That 10% holding of J. Henry's makes what you've just said absolute nonsense. That'll be him.
Come in.
Thank you, Joe. Well, having been requested to see you, shouldn't one of you say something?
Having signed a personal contract with J. Henry, what are your intentions regarding his minority interest in this motel?
Well, as it's only a minority interest, I expect my employer will require me to have only minor intentions.
You don't intend to involve yourself in the actual running of the place?
I don't intend to involve myself in the running of any place or places, except those my employer wishes that I should involve myself in.
Well, it seems to me that you have done a deal at the expense of Mrs. Hamilton and your fiancé. You've sold out their interests to the casino cheap in return for a fat personal contract with J. Henry.
Here is the contract for the sale of the casino. You are welcome to inspect it.
No, let me.
Which concerns you most in respect of myself? The casino or the motel?
My largest concern is your past.
So is mine. It has been for years. I spend considerable time wondering when people like yourself will allow me to live it down.
David, you should see this. He's beaten J. Henry over the casino. He's secured not only a life interest for his fiancée, but also for Kate Hamilton as well.
If you
There's even
say
a job.
so.
And nothing for himself.
Except a personal contract with J. Henry, as Paul Ross had. Do you know this? Until it became too much for him, Paul had to spy on his employer's own wife.
No, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
There is nothing in my contract remotely requiring me to do anything of that nature.
Oh, there was nothing in Paul's, I suspect, in writing. But do one dirty thing for your employer, and you do another. And dirtier.
You live in the past, David. My past. I'm very pleased to say that I no longer do.
I was in the supermarket this morning and I bumped into Charlie Wilcox.
In the supermarket?
Yes, he was stocking up for his dinner party. And I did just wonder if we mightn't go. I think I could cope with it if you could.
No, there's no point.
It's important, you see, to keep up appearances because, well, there's got to be a chance, hasn't there, that this will sort itself out, so if we can just keep it under wraps for now,
No, it
maybe.
won't work so.
I don't see why you have to say that. If we just
There's
try...
no point.
But why?
I can't.
I've told him now.
Who?
Charlie Wilcox, that we'd go.
What do you want to go and do a thing like that for?
Well, I couldn't see that it would do any harm.
I'll ring him.
No, let's give it a try. If it's all my fault it's a failure, I'll take the blame.
No.
Oh, but it's only Charlie and Edna and Kitty.
It's not on, Sal, not in any way.
But why?
Because I'm moving out.
I need a typist.
But don't look at me, I'm up to here.
Oh, I haven't got a secretary.
Yes, but she's only a temp. She went home at 6. What is it?
The notes J. Henry got me to clean up. The morning will do.
What is it? Private business?
Motels. Replies to David's questions as to my exact responsibility as J. Henry's representative.
Oh, we'll just leave it there. I'll see it gets done. Oh, can you take that for me?
Yes. I don't know where she could be. One moment. Are you able to receive Councillor Berry?
No, I am not.
Yes, send him in.
What? Why did you say that? Didn't you hear what I just said?
I want to look him over. J. Henry made him my first assignment, him and his bypass.
Oh, I'd hope to find Mrs. Hunter here.
No. Councillor Berry, Mr. Lord.
Well, we've met. The other night out there.
Yes, I remember. Since then, I've placed your face.
Sorry?
It seemed familiar the other day. I now recall that you are, or were, chairman of the Education Committee some time ago. I appeared before you on a certain occasion. I didn't have a beard then, and you had, some sort of moustache.
Oh, that's so. You were a teacher at... Yes, well, perhaps I don't remember after all.
There's no need for discretion, Councillor Berry. Mrs. Harvey knows all about my past, the teacher and the pupil.
Oh, Lucy.
Lucy Hamilton.
You had rotten luck there. The thing was blown up out of all proportion. I can tell you now, I didn't want your teaching career ruined. Well, now, to more pleasant matters. Is Mrs. Hunter in?
No, and I'm afraid she won't be back for quite some time. Can I take a message?
Could you just tell her this? I have made progress.
Progress? Diverting the bypass?
I can't discuss that. Tell Mrs. Hunter that if she could keep tomorrow evening free, I shall be here again. About 7 o'clock or so. And then perhaps I shall be able to speak, well, how shall I put it?
With less restraint?
Exactly. Thank you. Good evening.
But that's giving up, isn't it? And I won't do that, Oliver.
We can give it a try.
What sort of try is that, moving out of your own home? You belong here.
No.
You do. The trouble is, you see, we've drifted, but that happens to everybody all the time. I mean, you can't go through life being madly in love. Not that way. You have to settle for a sort of routine. We've been happy enough all these years. We've been places and done things. We've got the children. We've built all that, darling.
Yes, I know.
And you can't go tearing it down for her. She's not worth it. She can't be. We're talking about a lifetime together. You can't do this.
I didn't look for this, Sal, believe me. It's just that suddenly there's something, someone I have to be with. Oh, if it were anything frivolous or silly, I'd know. I don't want to put us through all this. I don't like the hurt.
Well, it's not my doing.
No.
Leave her. Now, while there's still time. You can if you try. I'll help. I will, honestly. I'll do anything. No.
Oh, no, Sal, no.
I'm sorry I'm like this. I just can't help it. I don't see the point in holding back. It's supposed to be brave or something, but I don't care. If my heart's breaking, I'm going to cry.
It's not a casual thing like we all thought. She's in love with him. I went round there to apologise, to maybe talk her out of it, but somehow...
Is that what you said? That he's going to leave Mum, shack up with her?
Oh, not in so many words.
Well, then.
Kevin, it's serious, I can tell. She wants what's best for him, but he's certainly not going to give her up.
So when's all this going to happen? They're going to live together in Di's cosy little flat?
Of course not. Well, I couldn't ask their plans, could I? But I assume they'll buy a place eventually.
It'll do him no good.
Socially, do you mean? At work? All his posh friends?
The friends are Mum's, mostly. He's got a reputation to consider. He's sound, a straight bloke to deal with. It's not on.
Well, I think she'll make him happy. And maybe that'll make up for everything.
That's for how long? All right, so she loves him. She loved that copper. She loved that bloke who ran the garage before, Vic, what's his name? What happened to them?
I know there were reasons for breaking up with Ashley, but I don't know about the other chap. Well, perhaps it was more on her side than his.
Oh, so this time it's for real. Well, hooray, break out the champagne.
It scares me it can happen.
Oh, it ought to scare Dad. If he wanted to go, he should have gone years ago.
When you were children, he couldn't have done that. You needed him.
It would have been better for Mum. She'd have had a chance. She wasn't bad looking, but what'll happen to her now?
Travelling light?
I couldn't do it.
I see.
It wasn't the moment.
Obviously not.
Honestly.
It's all right. No panic.
I had every intention. I wanted to make the break cleanly, but she came apart at the seams, literally.
Poor darling. And I mean you. I can't allow myself to feel sorry for her. That would be the end.
Oh, don't say that.
Okay, I won't.
Look, I mean, at least I've taken a step. She knows the intention. Give her time to get used to the idea. Just be patient.
Name of the game. Oh, it's easy for me by comparison. I haven't got to face all that lot. But my time will come. Bit different, but when it's out in the open and everybody knows, the flak will fly all right, and we all know in which direction.
Look, I'll take you away from it.
No, you won't. I don't run away. You face yours and I'll face mine. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Depressed me, you know, your dad going off with Sharon. It's funny, when you get married, you think everything's safe. Nothing can spoil things. You can lose the lot.
Glenda.
I've been thinking what they said at the clinic about having the baby putting a pressure on our marriage.
You're not going to start worrying about that again?
I can't help worrying. It was all my idea, wasn't it? Look at the trouble I had to talk you round it. I feel guilty sometimes.
Well, there's no need. You don't think I wanted to go through life without kids, do you? It was just not knowing anything about this test tube business. Now that I do, I'm happy.
Honestly.
Of course I am.
But what happens if it doesn't work for us?
I've never heard you say that before. That was my line, remember?
I love you, Kevin. In a way, I'm putting that at risk, aren't I? I'm tempting Providence.
Now, Glenn, stop.
Listen. I don't want us to be like your mum and dad, just putting up with things. Even if we have the baby, when we have the baby.
That's better.
Even when we're a family, I want you to tell me if you're not happy. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to stay out of a sense of duty or responsibility. I couldn't bear that. You would tell me. Promise?
Okay, I promise. It'll never happen, Glenn. Honest.